For school districts building e-learning days into their calendar, I think an ideal lesson or activity would be to simulate the one-sitting research task that students have to perform on standardized assessments. What if you provided students with 2 or 3 informational texts to read? Now, these would be short texts and high-interest texts, and they would be texts that are related to concepts that you've been teaching within the classroom. For example, a science teacher who's been covering things like animal habitats might find 2 or 3 articles on sharks. Or a social studies teacher who's been covering the presidents might find a couple short, high-interest articles all about one president in particular. Really, any content area is fair game for this. And remember, don't just provide them with traditional print text, sentences and paragraphs. What if one of the texts was a video clip, or a chart, a graph, a map, or even a series of photos? Consider finding 2 or 3 texts that are of various types, all on the same topic. As part of their e-learning day, they would read these 2 or 3 texts and then respond to them in writing. Provide some kind of writing prompt where they have to explain or compare or argue ideas based on the information they learned. I love this kind of one-sitting research writing task because it brings together all the different literacy skills we've been teaching our students. They have to juggle multiple texts all in one sitting. They have to synthesize ideas across multiple sources. They have to cite evidence to support their thinking, and they have to compose a first draft on the computer. Now, you could do this very same activity minus the writing prompt. Maybe you don't ask students to actually produce any sentences or paragraphs to turn in. In fact, that's what Paoli teacher Katie Cadle did on a recent e-learning day. She provided her second graders with an excerpt from a book and a corresponding video clip from the movie version of that book. In addition, she provided her students with a T-chart because she wanted them to compare certain facets of the movie clip to the excerpt from the original text. So their assignment was simply to turn in a T-chart with their list of observations for comparing certain facets of these 2 texts. I love Katie's activity, and to me, that's the sign of a productive e-learning day, one that marries the use of technology along with the literacy skills we've been teaching in the classroom.